Michael Popok, Legal AF. The more I learn about Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman, the more I admire them. These are the two mother-daughter election workers, former election workers, Fulton County, Georgia, who were terribly defamed, attacked, doxxed by Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump, Christina Bobb, Jenna Ellis, Sidney Powell, the lawyers around Donald Trump, claiming that they committed election fraud when they did nothing of the sort. I already admired them for taking on Rudy Giuliani and the others and suing them right, to paraphrase Shaye Moss, in their pocketbook, in their purse, where it counts, where it matters. And they're trying to seek, and they should recover, close to $50 million for the terrible defamation campaign against them, led by people like Rudy Giuliani. There was 2 hours of uninterrupted testimony today. Well, it was interrupted. It was interrupted by Ruby Freeman, by Shaye Moss, breaking down in tears, in which she honestly told the members of that jury that her entire life has been turned upside down. She went from being a happy, ebullient, bubbly person who had a great job at the election office, who was a friend to all and loved her life in every way, shape, and form, to the exact polar opposite of that now. She barely leaves the house. She refuses to go out or be alone in public. She can't even go get her hair done or go to the supermarket until almost closing time to avoid seeing people. She can't go out and get a job because she's so psychologically crippled by what happened to her. This is what happens when 1 million mentions of her happen on social media and the media, when they get attacked ceaselessly, relentlessly, told that they're going to die, told that they should be assassinated, told that they should kill themselves, told that they are, and using the N-word, and they are, not worthy of being alive on this earth by the followers of Donald Trump, by MAGA, by the followers of Rudy Giuliani. They sicked the dogs onto Shaye Moss and Ruby Freeman. And now they finally get their day in court, literally, to look the jury in the eye and tell them the honest truth. Let me just tell you what, from the reporting that was in the room, some of the excerpts from the testimony. Sam Levine did a nice job in The Guardian, and here's some of the verbatim testimony that happened just today. Shaye Moss said that most days I pray that God does not wake me up and that I just disappear because of the actions of Rudy Giuliani. She said that she had become a pariah at the elections office, a job that she loved, that she had worked her way up from the mailroom, that she considered herself worthless and the worst mom in the world because one of her teenage children failed out of school because of the harassment, that she considered herself a hermit, that she never wanted to leave the house, and that she had been diagnosed with major depressive disorder with acute distress. In tears, she described to the jury her sad life, that she feels in her quote, this is a quote from her, that I'm in a dark place and the only thing that surrounds me are the conspiracies and the lies. She said that one of her biggest fears is that her child would come home and see her and his grandmother hanging in the backyard in their house. And so she said she's opened the front door and found a crowd with nooses in the front of her house ready to kill her, including people in power and mayors. They could do that because of who they are, and I'm a nobody. This is her testimony today. Powerful, searing, authentic testimony against Rudy Giuliani, who's, always on the grift and always trying to make a buck, even if it means destroying somebody like with the character and honor of Shaye Moss. She went on to say that when she was accused of treason, she didn't even understand the word. She thought that was a word from old-timey times. But she said she was here to declare that it's very hurtful that people thought that she was, while she was breaking her back to count the votes appropriately, that she was committing voter fraud. And at 39, she's had to retire from the elections office. When she tried to go for a job at a local fast food restaurant, they pulled up an article about her committing voter fraud, and she couldn't get a job flipping burgers, or in this case, chicken sandwiches in the South. She said that after the statements made by Rudy Giuliani, the lies against her, that it felt like, quote, a slap in the face, that she was being judged and that her job was being taken away for all of the lies. She went on to say to the jury under oath that, quote, I personally cannot repair my reputation at the moment because Rudy Giuliani is still lying on me and ruining my reputation further. He needs to make a statement. We need to ensure that election workers that are still there don't have to go through this. Hopefully by hitting someone in their pockets, for someone whose whole career has been about their pockets, we will send a message. I can't think of a better closing argument than the one that Shaye Moss just made on her own behalf. Now, Joe Sibley got the short straw, I guess. He's the last in a long line of lawyers representing Rudy Giuliani. He had to cross-examine Shaye Moss. And let me give you a couple of the questions and answers, and you tell me how well you think Joe Sibley did in front of this jury. He pressed her to explain why she will need millions of dollars to repair her reputation, to which she responded, my reputation is so much in shambles, it's still being trampled on by your client at present. As part of his questioning, he also asked her why she can't look for work, to which that gave her yet another opportunity to say that she hasn't looked for work because she's suffering major depressive disorder and she has a lot of anxiety and that she takes medication for it, that she doesn't like to talk about that publicly. Then Sibley tried another angle of attack in his cross-examination to try to blame third parties, try to blame others, not Rudy Giuliani, for the horrible doxing and threats against her life, turning her life upside down, arguing in it the way he questioned, arguing to the jury by way of questioning her that, well, you can't be blamed for what third-party crackpots do. And she had a great response for that because it's true and it's authentic in a way that a lawyer could never do. She said to him that they're no different. In other words, that the people that are attacking her and Rudy Giuliani are no different. What she said was that, quote, they're no different. They were all on the same hate train together. Mr. Giuliani was just driving the bus, picking up these people, and they were spreading the lies. Or as I said to a friend of mine before I did the hot take tonight, it's like Rudy Giuliani was running the fertilizer spreader and all the others were throwing the manure in there along with them, and he was spreading the manure. All right? And then the lawyers in her direct examination, which is the first part of the case today, the lawyers for Freeman and Moss played videotaped depositions so the jury could see them and so that Shaye Moss could comment on them of lawyers for Donald Trump that worked with Rudy Giuliani on Team Crazy, including and other investigators. Bernie Kerik, the disgraced former police chief in New York that worked with Rudy Giuliani to spread all of these lies. Christina Bobb, former lawyer for Donald Trump that had her attorney-client privilege stripped away from her and she had to testify against Donald Trump. Jenna Ellis, a convicted criminal in Georgia, all of whom worked to assist Giuliani's efforts to overturn the election. And the jury got to see Ellis, for instance, plead the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination 448 times in the deposition about what she did to injure Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss. In the courtroom, the reporting is that Moss, seeing this deposition probably for the first time on video, just mouthed, wow, in front of the jury. Wow, indeed. That was day one. That was the 2 hours, a little bit of cross-examination left. And that's Shaye Moss. Ruby Freeman is coming up next. And I'm sure we're going to need to get a tissue box for her too. And there won't be a dry eye in the house. Sorry, surely not in the jury pool, in the jury box. And so Rudy Giuliani, if he feared this. This is why we're watching Rudy Giuliani act out, violate court orders, invite a mistrial, throw over the game board, and avoid a jury verdict just for as long as he can. He's basically baiting the jury and the judge into a mistrial through his antics that the judge has called out and let it be known that she's not likely to do a mistrial. She's more likely to find him in contempt, put him in jail, and find that he's perjured himself if he takes the stand and lies about Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss again, which is a criminal referral, I would imagine, over to the FBI about it. That's how she'll handle it. As I said on another hot take, there's a race going on here. It's a race for Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss's legal team to outrun Giuliani's craziness because he's trying for a mistrial and they're trying not to have a mistrial. They're ignoring, I mean, they're making a record, but they're ignoring things. They're getting the judge to fix them with what we call curative instructions with the jury, but they don't want a mistrial. They want to, so my recommendation to them is speed it up. Do the minimum amount of witnesses that you need, get that jury deliberating and ruling for Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss. Don't gild the lily. If you got, a great piece of evidence, put it on once. Don't put it on 10 times. You don't have the luxury of time when you're operating against an unhinged Rudy Giuliani, who's trying to take a page out of Donald Trump's book, but of course doing it in a ham-fisted way to try to get a mistrial here and start all over again and put them through this. And justice delayed here will be justice denied. We'll follow the redirect of Shaye Moss, which is the next step in the examination process, the testimonial process. Next witness, I'm sure, is going to be Ruby Freeman. We'll cover it here on the MeidasTouch Network on a show we call Legal AF, just for this reason. It's every Wednesday and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, one place, exclusively on the MeidasTouch Network. If you like the work that we're doing and the leaders of Legal AF, Karen Friedman Agnifilo, Ben Mycelis, and me, join us for that full-length podcast and pick it up everywhere you get your audio podcasts from. And on hot takes like this one, you like this content coming to you? Then give me a comment, leave me a thumbs up. It helps keep us on the air. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.